multiple times in my lifetime, I'm just going down the highway and I'll come to a dead stop. And I'm like assuming there's a 50 car pile up somewhere within the next mile. And then after about 20 minutes, it just goes away.
Clears.
And then we just end up going, and we're back to 75. 70 out on speed. 70.
I've thought like when you're at like a red light and it turns green, why doesn't everybody start going? So it's kind of like the same thing. If everyone just
goes at once.
If everyone just starts going the exact same speed, like a train.
Like why
all the cars start moving at the same time.
So if you're 20 cars back and the light turns green, why does the person in front of you not go?
Yes. No, why do I have to sit there for a solid 60 seconds?
How do you miss the light?
Yeah.
I
Why
think we're on the same page here.
Okay, so today we're kind of talking about insurance.
It's fun. Super fun. Love it. I love getting to learn about all the deductibles and how this is actually not covered, but this is in and out of network, all the stuff.
That's what I live for. That's why I started this job.
I thrive for open enrollment.
Woo!
So, but between November and sometime in January, depends on the state. So January 15th, I think, is Arkansas's. So as long as it's in between that gap, we're good. But that's open enrollment. That's when you have to choose your health insurance plan for the year. If you miss out on it, you just don't get insurance. That's not true.
Just lied.
I was trying dramatic. It is. I mean, it's kind of true. So there has to be a reason why you're changing from what you are, called a qualifying event, which we'll get into a little bit of that as we go. But yeah. A lot of employers offer health insurance, some don't, but I have had several jobs in my life. I've worked at several places, and I've also worked for myself. So if I do the math, hang on. No, I think I've signed up for a different health insurance at least 5 times.
From different jobs?
Yeah, and so I've gotten kind of used to the process of, figuring out which works best for me. And then we're also having to like juggle, my wife doesn't work. And so we have to get her a private, a policy in her own name. And then I'm covered at work. And then now we have a child. He's got to have his own policy. So there's just a lot to get into there. Yeah. If you want to kind of get us rolling question wise.
Yeah. Actually, this is kind of funny. I'm obviously, that sounded so rude in my head. I'm obviously a little younger than you.
No, that's fine. That's okay.
So I'm, all of the friends that are my age are just now getting into this insurance. You just said you've done it quite a few times.
Yep.
I've only done it once before. Most of my friends are just now. So I actually had a friend reach out to me the other week and just ask me questions like, what am I even looking for?
Sure.
So, if you're just graduating college, starting a job, let's say you've got 3 different job options and someone has told you, okay, well, fine, look for one that has good benefits, but you don't know what that means. Go into kind of what that exactly means and what you would be looking for.
So I'm very big on when you're young and healthy, you don't need the sports car, right? You don't need the really nice, super low deductible health insurance package because why pay that high premium and then not go to the doctor?
Yeah.
And so if you're young, healthy, out of college, not seeing any sort of lifestyle change anytime soon, as far as like, maybe getting married or starting a family or things like that, I would get as basic as you can. And obviously this is not individual financial advice, but this is just kind of a general rules that I kind of look at are get the basic plan, get the higher deductible, and maybe look if there's an HSA option. Because with an HSA, which is a health savings account, you have to be enrolled in a high deductible plan. And what's the definition of high deductible this year?
Okay, for 2024, a high deductible health plan is defined as a health plan with an annual deductible that is not less than $1,600 for self-only coverage or $3,200 for family coverage.
Perfect. So if you have a deductible that is higher than that, you are eligible for HSA, which we may be able to do a full episode on HSAs.
There's a lot.
Kind of like a broad overview. It's a pre-tax account, so you can kind of similar to like a retirement account, like a 401k. It comes out of your paycheck before taxes. It grows tax deferred, and then when you take it out for qualifying medical expenses, it is also tax free. And so it's like one of the only thing that is triple tax advantaged. You don't pay taxes when it goes in, you don't pay taxes when it grows, and as long as it's used for medical expenses, you don't pay taxes when you use it. But it is locked into medical expenses. Right. And so that's what I would look at if you're younger in that situation, especially because as you get older, health expenses rise, the cost of insurance rises, and having this account over here, it's a strategy. I don't know anybody that's implemented it yet, but I've heard that like people are using that as like another investment account, knowing that as they get older, they're going to need, they're going to have more expensive insurance premiums, more expensive doctor's visits. And so using that in their kind of investment plan. Yes, absolutely.
So you've mentioned deductibles several times. What, just kind of basic, what is a deductible?
Yep. A deductible is what you're on the hook for before insurance kicks in. And so
insurance doesn't actually cover everything?
Yeah, it's not this magic thing. They want you to have a little bit of skin in the game. They want you to have to think about going to the doctor and using it. I mean, realistically, that's what it is like, how bad do I need to go? And so if you are in one of those higher deductible plans, you'll have to spend more before insurance actually kicks in. So if you have a higher deductible plan, you have to pay more out of your pocket before insurance actually kicks in. Whereas if you can pay a higher premium for your insurance and they'll lower the deductible, so you'll actually have to pay less out of your pocket before insurance kicks in.
Right.
Something that my wife and I did whenever we knew we were expecting a baby was swap to a better plan with a lower deductible, which is totally, like not frowned upon, like a very legal thing. It felt kind of fishy when I was like, I know we're about to have a bunch of medical expenses. Yeah. I'm going to get the better insurance now. But it's actually something that is kind of, what's the word? Like encouraged.
Yeah. It's a good strategy for.
Or like, if you know you're having something coming up. So for us, we knew we were due for a baby in February. So when I went to open enrollment in November, I got the cream of the crop insurance. And then my wife, shout out to Michelle, had an HSA put aside. And the amount in her HSA was our new deductible on our plan. So we got out of there for... Wow. It was awesome.
That's like exactly how you want to do it there.
I wish I could say that we had planned it that way. It just kind of worked out though. Yeah.
Good for you.
Then our son was born. Open enrollment is now, rewind. Birth of a child, qualifying event.
Yes. So now you can change it again.
Now I can change it again. So a qualifying event, I kind of hinted on at the beginning, is when they allow you to change your plan not in the open enrollment period. Things that qualify, change of employer, having a baby. I'm sure, I know marriage is one, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch more.
Marriage, divorce, adoption, if you move, a dependent passes away. There's a whole list of them. Yeah. Turning 26.
Getting off your parents' plan. Yep. We'll touch on that one. Yep. Forgot about that. That's a good one.
That's a good one for this, I guess, age group.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's change in citizenship, moving to a new area, legal separation. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anything, happens that it's going to be kind of obvious that like, hey, my situation is drastically changed.
Yeah, like a change in lifestyle.
Yes. You are probably eligible to change your plan for that. And so, we had Graham change insurance plans I started working at a new job in April, changed insurance plans again.
Yeah.
And so then now November's coming up and we got to do it all again. So,
so
yeah.
real quick, just because we just mentioned it, when you turn 26,
yes.
So you are, as you know, Graham is your dependent. He's on your family health plan. And you will stay on your family's health plan until you are 26, and then legally you have to get your own.
Yes.
Which I find it interesting that the age is 26, because it's not 26 for anything else. Like there's no. I
do remember when I was 23, my mom calling me freaking out to get my own health insurance. And I was like, well, I have until 26. And she was like, no, you're wrong. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I went out and got insurance and she was wrong. So
oh man. Yeah.
Just a little flex right there, but
so you had it for longer. There you go. Well, so yeah, just keep an eye out for that, because that could be a nasty little surprise if you're not aware of it.
It's probably about now, or because it's coming up in November, it would make sense to sit down and make a plan of like, hey, what's going to happen here in the next 12 months? What are we doing? Are we moving? Am I looking at a new job? Are we expecting a child? Am I getting married? All of these things kind of go into that. And so you can get with a health insurance agent through whoever you're using and get on the marketplace, and it will actually, Obamacare, it subsidizes your premium based on your income level. And so if you are under a certain threshold, your premiums could be smaller. And so it could actually save tons of money if you do not have healthcare through your employer, is the caveat. If you even have the option of healthcare, even if it's the worst healthcare program you've ever seen, like if it's like really high deductible and it's expensive, but you have the option to sign up, that is considered an affordable healthcare option, and you are not eligible for marketplace assistance. And so that was something, the hoops I kind of had to jump through starting a new job and finding my wife insurance. But because she's eligible to be on this plan, there is no marketplace assistance. So seeing which combination of like, does my son get his own policy and Michelle's on my work policy, or does she get her own policy with my son and then I'm on the work policy, or I don't get on the work policy? It's start planning now. And
thank the Lord for the agents.
And yes, they just type on their computer and flip the screen around and say, here's what you're going to pay. And I say, thank you. And I walk out.
They make your life easy.
Either ask your insurance or ask the doctor's office if your provider is in their network, because you don't want to find out after the fact that bill can be very drastic. I got I have it at my house still. It's the uninsured bill from the birth of Graham. And it's like before insurance paid. Y'all, I think it was $80,000. Isn't that gross? Yeah. And I mean, and then insurance covered, 99% of it. But
I did not.
Did that blow your mind? Oh yeah. With zero insurance, it's up there. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So that I feel like that kind of leads into this question, because if you don't have insurance, this Reddit question says, how do I get health insurance without a job and I don't qualify for Medicaid?
You can go through healthcare.gov, sign up with your state and your email address, and it'll kind of give you options of what that would look like for you. If you don't have anything through work, if you don't qualify for Medicaid, that is one place to start, or seeking an agent at one of these health insurance providers that can help you out with that.
Okay, so I'm just actively scouring Reddit and looking through questions about health insurance. And this person asks if they quit their job or if they were fired, let's say in the early half of the year, will I go without health insurance until November? Okay,
great question. I'm trying to find what the letters mean in the acronym, but it's called COBRA. Here it is. I don't know how to say that word. Consolidated Omnibus.
Okay.
Budget Reconciliation Act, but just COBRA.
Okay.
it allows you to stay on your group health insurance for up to 3 years after your employment ends. And so whenever my wife and I, we used to teach a few years back, and whenever we left the school we were teaching at, we were actually eligible to sign up for COBRA, and it would keep the same insurance we had until we found new insurance.
Okay.
And so if you are thinking about quitting a job, or you just got fired, or something happens where you're going to be unemployed for a little bit and you're worried about your coverage lapsing, make sure you look out for COBRA.
Yeah.
And that will help you keep your benefits for that. So, okay, we need to end because the cameras are dying. All right, perfect. I've got a decent quote. You can catch flies with honey, but you can catch a lot more honeys being fly. Have a good day.
Thank you for watching. That was a good one.
Huh?
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks for watching No Dumb Questions. We'll see you next time.